There's a few image editing software apps that you can use. One of the ones I feel more comfortable with is Pixlr. Now Pixlr has a few different software. So it has Pixlr X and Pixlr E. They're both a little bit different but easy to get the hang of. So I'm on Pixlr E. You can do a little bit more with Pixlr E in the sense of adding and removing layers. But I'm not going to show you that on this video. So I'm going to go to open image, and I've got an image saved on my computer of a mixed media piece that someone has done. So I'm going to open this into the program. So this doesn't have to be a mixed media image. You can do this with any piece of art that you create in school. If you just take a photo of it and save it to your computer or your phone, there are phone apps out there that you can use as well, and then edit them. It's a really quick way of getting a lot of pieces of art that look very different if you do them digitally. So here's my piece that I've saved. So the first thing I'm going to do is crop the image so that we don't have the red border. It doesn't matter if I crop a little bit off this. I'm not bothered about keeping the whole image. I could just do a quarter of it if I wanted, but I'm just going to get the main bulk of the image in it. These are all the tools that we can use, but to change the image, and if you were using photo editing software where you wanted to improve the appearance of something, you might use these a bit more, but we're really going to be using these ones at the top. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to adjustment and find hue and saturation, and I'm going to build up the saturation of colour in the image. So that's really bold and vibrant. If we go to hue, we can change the colour. If we scroll along this bar, and the image already looks very different, you could save one of those. What I'll say is when you're using the software like this, every time you change the image, just save it, and then you've got a lot more to play with. So I'm going to change that colour, and I would go File, Save, and save that image. And once that's saved, I'd carry on working on the image. Another quick thing that you can do on adjustment is if you go to invert, it will invert the colours. Let's just wait and see if this happens. There we go. So that's inverted the colours. I'm not going to use those at the moment. I might go back to it later, although I do quite like that the black is now white. My computer is a little bit slower at moving. Okay, so let's go back to hue and saturation. There we go. I'm going to go to filter now, and there's loads of different effects that we can put on this image. The first one I'm going to go to is the effect library. It'll come up with quite a few different things. I am going to go down to the one that says artsy, and in there are more images. It gives you a preview of what the image might look like, and I'm going to scroll down and find a tonic. I quite like the bright pink in that, and I'll apply it. There is a slider at the bottom of this that you can use to make it more subtle if you wanted. Right, the next thing I'm going to do, you could go back and play with the hue and saturation again. I'm just going to build the vibrance up. The bolder the better for these, really. I like a lot of colour. Another one I like on the adjustment bar is Posterize. You don't need to move this very much to get an effect. Right, I like that. I'm going to leave it as that. I really like how bright that is and the contrast with the black. If we go back to filter, really play around with these. I'm going to go to glitches, and one of my favourites on here is fringe. This overlays the image and adds quite a lot of really vibrant colour. So I think I like this one. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it as that and apply it. Again, I would save this image, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to carry on. And then if we go into filter, another one that I quite like is slice. Interference is quite a nice one as well. So I'm going to, if you can see, it adds little sections that are just slightly different. So I'm going to leave it at that, and you can play with these sliders quite a lot to see what look you like best. I want it to be as obvious as possible, and it'll slide the picture along. So the more you slide it, the more obvious it'll be because it's moved further over. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you on this is another filter option, and that is Mosaic. Pixlr does a similar thing, but obviously it's square. Mosaic's quite a nice one. At the very bottom of that menu, actually I'm going to show you that, is Polarized, which a lot of students like, the polar coordinates, and this can make it look really different very quickly. So it makes it look like a record player, I always think. Let's turn it, if you can see. Looks like a record on a player. I'm not going to use that one right now, but it's quite a good one, and again I would save that. So I want to show you the Mosaic filter. I'm going to go down to Mosaic, and the more you move this slider, the bigger your Mosaic tiles will be. I want them quite big for this. I want it to look as abstract as possible. Yeah, I quite like that one, so I'm going to apply it. And then if I go to File, I'm going to save this image, and that's the final one I'm going to show you today. Have a go at this and have a play. The more you play with it, the more you will learn about the program. It's a really quick way. I've probably could have saved about 7 or 8 there just in that little video. And obviously there's a lot more adjustments and filters that you can use on there and change the colours a lot. I hope that was helpful. Bye bye.